Welcome to this tribute reading on the occasion of the centenary year of one of our most moving, daring, and mercurial poets. My name is Alice Quinn. I'm the Executive Director of the Poetry Society of America and also a teacher here at Columbia's Graduate School of the Arts. It's my 25th anniversary. One of our co-presenters of this event. I'd like to record special thanks to others who are involved, especially involved in Supportive, including Professor and poet Saskia Hamilton and the Barnard Forum on Poetry and Poetics, Poets House, the Heyman Center for the Humanities here at Columbia, Sharif Shanahan of the Poetry Society, Jonathan Galassi, Jeff Saroy, and Sarah Skier of Farrastrauss and Giroux. Some of you may have read the piece about tonight's event online and today's panels by Irina Tevaleva in today's Columbia Spectator, describing the close relationship from college days at Columbia of John Berryman and Robert Giroux, who became his lifelong editor. It was here that they both studied with the Pulitzer Prize-winning poet and renowned professor of literature, Mark Van Doren, who inspired Berryman's devotion to Shakespeare. 15 years ago, in their wisdom, in their usual wisdom, Farrastrauss and Giroux published the omnibus edition of Berryman's essays, letters, and other writings on Shakespeare, lovingly assembled and edited by John Haffenden, with a moving preface by Bob Giroux. There are so many splendid poets with us tonight, and I know we'll all find the reading greatly illuminating. I can't resist quoting something from the Spectator piece because you'll hear many poems in the voice of Berryman's literary alter ego, Henry. Quote, in a 1968 interview with the Harvard Advocate, Berryman joked, "Henry does resemble me, and I resemble Henry. But on the other hand, I'm not Henry. You know, I pay income tax. Henry pays no income tax. And bats come over and they stall in my hair. And fuck them, I'm not Henry. Henry doesn't have any bats." Ari Cole, in his beautiful new introduction to the 77 Dream Songs, put it a bit more delicately. Henry is troubled, vulnerable, vehement, libidinous, and he is a white American in early middle age, living at some outer boundary where the soul is in crisis. A new edition of Berryman's sonnets has also been published by FSG, introduced by April Barnard, and edited, as all the new editions of Berryman's work are, by Daniel Swift, who deserves a round of applause and is here with us tonight. So all of these editions will be on sale after the reading. Let's dedicate this event at Barnard and Columbia tonight to the memory and the achievement of John Berryman and Robert Giroux, who loved and treasured each other so much. And let's toast them after the reading with a glass of wine. So now please welcome our first reader. Saskia Hamilton.
This is Dream Song number 21. Some good people, daring and subtle voices, and their tense faces. As I think of it, I see sank underground. I see my radar digs. I do not dig. Cool their flushing blood, them eyes is shut. Eyes, appalled by all the dead, Henry brooded. Without exception, all. The senior population waits. Come down. A ghastly and flashing pause, clothed, life called, us due. In a madhouse heard I an ancient man, tube-fed, who had not said for 15 years, they said, one canny word. Senile forever, who a heart might pierce, mutter, "Oh, come on down. oh, come on down, clear whom he meant.
Hello, I'm Catherine Barnett. You can all hear, right? I'll read Dream Song 20, The Secret of the Wisdom. When worst got things, how was you? Steady on? Wheedling or shocked her? And you have been bad to your friend, whom not you writing to. You have not listened. A pelican of lies you loosed. Where are you? Down weeks of evenings of longing by hours, now a stoned bell. You did somebody. Others you hurt short. Anyone ever did you do good? You licking your own old hurt. What? An evil kneel and adore. This is human. Hurl, God who found us in this, down something. We hear the more sin has increased, the more grace has been caused to abound.
A little break from dream songs to a sonnet. This is sonnet number 43 of the long sonnet sequence, and at this point, the speaker is bemoaning the absence of his beloved in summer. You should be gone in winter, that nature mourn with me your anarch separation, calling warmth all with you, as more poetical than to be left biting the dog days, lorn, alone when all else burgeons. Brides are born, children yet, some, begotten, every wall clasped by its vine here, crony alcohol, comfort as random as the unicorn. Listen, for poets are feigned to lie, and I for you a liar am 1,000 times. Scars of these months blazon like a decree. I would have you, a liner pulls the sky. Trust when I mumble me, then gin and limes, you are cooler, darling. Oh, come back to me.
Berryman's first son, Paul, was born in 1957, and the following year his wife left him, taking their son with him, or with her. And Berryman remarried in 1961, and he wrote this little poem. It's an ABC poem for his son at Christmas. So it was never published, never intended to be published, never intended to be read. But I think it shows the father, the tender guilty, tender father full of guilt in this poem. And Paul was called Pugh or Pookie or Mr. Pooh. And this poem is called Mr. Pooh and the Alphabet, which he do not like. A is for awful, which things are. What a way to begin to a 4-year-old. A 4-year-old. A is for awful, which things are. B is for bear them well as we can. C is for can we? D is for dare. E is for each dares being a man. What does a man do? Bears and dares. And how does a little boy fare? he fares. F is for floor, we stamp with our foot. G is for grimy, we getting from play. H is for hell, wherein they do put the bad guys, maybe. O, and I is for I. And this will puzzle the little Pugh, but his mommy can't explain it. Do. J is for jackknife, which later will come when Pookie is bigger. K is for key. L is for little Pooh. M is for some men who have definite reason to be. And N is for now, the best time of all. And O is for ouch when it hurts quite so. P is for Pookie of Paul and piano, and Q is for quiet while mommy tells Paul. R is for rudiments. Pookie, now learn. S is for seahorse, erect fish, weird. T is for Turks whom we take by the beard. U is for utter, don't know where to turn. V is for vows, the Pooh is to learn. So vivid, splendor, subjects hide ahead, the stars, the grasses, asses, and wise men, letters, and the world. W's for why, which ask and ask. X is for Xmas, where I cannot be. Y is for yes, do his daddy love he. Z is for zigzag, a part of our task. Straight's better, but few can. My Xmas hope, boy, head for man.
I'm Cornelius Eady. Henri's poem reminded me of a song by a folk singer named Richard Thompson, who wrote a lullaby to one of his children. And the song, it's called The End of the Rainbow. The song begins, I feel for you, you little whore, and goes down from there. And that's a, boy, Richard Thompson and John Berryman, right? There's a match. Unfortunately, I couldn't make the panel this afternoon. One of the things I wanted to say, if I had time to say it, was as a young baby poet in Rochester, New York, in the Randall Library, when I ran across Berryman's work on the shelves, it was the first sort of announcement for me that the I could be slippery in a poem. And I like to believe that in some way, the I in my poetry secret's brutal imagination has a debt to owe to Berryman. So even though I couldn't make the panel, I sort of like to make that statement now before I read. I also had a moment when I thought I might try to turn this into a song, but I didn't have enough time. You never know. Might do it later. Of 1826. I am the little man who smokes and smokes. I am the girl who does not know better but. I am the king of the pool. I am so wise, I had my mouth sewn shut. I am a government official and a goddamn fool. I am a lady who takes jokes. I am the enemy of the mine. I am the auto salesman and love you. I am a teenage cancer with a plan. I am the blacked out man. I am the woman powerful as a zoo. I am two eyes screwed to my set who's blind. It is the 4th of July. Collect while the dying man foregone by your Creator who forgives is gasping. Thomas Jefferson still lives. In vain, in vain, in vain. I am Henry Pussycat. My whiskers fly.
Dream Song 263. You couldn't bear to grow old, but we grow old. Our differences accumulate. Our skin tightens or droops. It alters. Take courage, things are not what they have been, and they will never again. Hot hearts grow cold. The rush to the surface falters. Secretive grows the disappearing soul, learned and uncertain, young again, but not in the same way. Heraclitus had a wise word here to say, which I forget. We wake and blunder on, wiser on the whole, but not more accurate. Leave that to the young, grope forward toward where no one else has been, which is our privilege. Besides, you gave up early in our age, which is your privilege, from Chatterton to the bitter and present scene.
Dream Song 8. The weather was fine. They took away his teeth. White and helpful, bothered his backhand, halved his green hair. They blew out his loves, his interests. Underneath, they called in iron voices, understand is nothing, so there. The weather was very fine. They lifted off his covers till he showed and cringed and pled to see himself less. They installed mirrors till he flowed. Enough, murmured they. If you will watch us instead, yet you may save B. Yes. The weather flurred. They weakened all his eyes and burning thumbs into his ears and shook his hand like a notch. They flung long silent speeches off the hook. They sandpapered his plumpest hope, so capsized, they took away his crotch. Thank you.
I'm Van Jordan. This is Dream Song number 46. I am outside. Incredible panic rules. People are blowing and beating each other without mercy. Drinks are boiling. Iced drinks are boiling. The worse anyone feels, the worse treated he is. Fools elect fools. A harmless man at an intersection said under his breath, Christ. That word so spoken affected the vision of, when they tried to work next day, shopkeepers who went and were fitted for glasses. Enjoyed they then an appearance of love and law. Millennia whiffed and waft. Their glasses were taken from them, and they saw. Man has undertaken the top job of all, Son Finn. Good luck. I myself walked at the funeral of tenderness, followed other deaths. Among the last, like the memory of a lovely fuck, was Du Udes.
I'm Lawrence Joseph. This poem is Dantes Tomb, which is from part 3 of Love and Fame. Dantes Tomb. a tired banana and an empty mind at 7 a.m. My world offends my eyes, bleary as an envelope cried over after the letter's lost. In spite of it all, both it and me, I'll chip away at the mystery. There's a Toltec warrior in Minneapolis with narrow eyes, reclining, the head raised and facing you, larger than life size in tan granite. The cult perished, the empty city welcomed the monkeys. We don't know. Hundreds and hundreds of little poems rolled up and tied with ribbons over the virgin years, unwanted love. And Miss Bishop's friend has died, and I will die, and one day in Ravenna, I visited his tomb, a domed affair, forbidding and tight shut, Dantes Poetae Sepulchrum. She said to me, half strangled, "Do that again, and then do the other thing." Sunlight flooded the old room, and I was both sleepy and hungry.
I am Donna Massini. This is Dream Song number 4. Filling her compact and delicious body with chicken paprika, she glanced at me twice. Fainting with interest, I hungered back, and only the fact of her husband and 4 other people kept me from springing on her or falling at her little feet and crying, "You are the hottest one for years of night." Henry's dazed eyes have enjoyed brilliance. I advanced upon, despairing, my spumoni. Sir Bones is stuffed the world with feeding girls. Black hair, complexion Latin, jeweled eyes downcast. The slob beside her feasts. What wonders is she sitting on over there? The restaurant buzzes. She might as well be on Mars. Where did it all go wrong? There ought to be a law against Henry. Mr. Bones, there is.
Dream Song 29. There sat down once a thing on Henry's heart, so heavy, if he had 100 years and more, and weeping sleepless in all them time, Henry could not make good. Starts again, always in Henry's ears, the little cough somewhere, an odor, a chime. And there is another thing he has in mind, like a grave Sienese face 1,000 years would fail to blur the still profiled reproach of. Ghastly, with open eyes he attends, blind. All the bells say, too late, this is not for tears. Thinking. But never did Henry, as he thought he did, end anyone and hacks her body up and hide the pieces where they may be found. He knows. He went over everyone, and nobody's missing. Often he wrecks them, often he reckons in the dawn them up. Nobody is ever missing.
The ball poem. What is the boy now who has lost his ball? What is he to do? I saw it go merrily bouncing down the street and then merrily over. There it is, in the water. No use to say, oh, there are other balls. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy as he stands rigid, trembling, staring down all his young days into the harbor where his ball went. I would not intrude on him. A dime, another ball is worthless. Now, he senses first responsibility in a world of possessions. People will take balls. Balls will be lost always, little boy, and no one buys a ball back. Money is external. He is learning well beyond his desperate eyes the epistemology of loss, how to stand up knowing what every man must one day know, and most know many days, how to stand up, and gradually light returns to the street. A whistle blows. The ball is out of sight. Soon, part of me will explore the deep and dark floor of the harbor. I am everywhere. I suffer and move. My mind and my heart move with all that move me. Under the water or whistling, I am not a little boy.
Hi, I'm Evie Shockley, and this is Sonnet 59. Loves are the summers. Summer like a bee sucks our best off, thigh brushes, and is gone. The yellow pollen upon the white winds blown settles. I feel the summer draining me. I lean back breathless in an agony of charming loss. I suffer without moan, without my love or with my love alone. She left me in the spring, or I say we left, before there we bloomed our secret garden. The ghosts of breezes widowy small paths wander. A fruitless bird pipes its surprising sorrow. When will she come back? Against whom I harden my effortless ghost in vain, who moved asunder flowers at the come of summer, beautiful and narrow.
This is number 9 of the 11 addresses to the Lord. Surprise me on some ordinary day with a blessing gratuitous. Even I've done good beyond their expectations. What count we, then, upon your bounty? Interminable. An old theologian asserts that even to say you exist is misleading. I buy that 2nd century fellow. I press his withered, glorifying hand. You certainly do not, as I, exist, impersonating as well the meteorite and flaring in your sun your waterfall, or blind in caves pallid fishes. Bear in mind me, who have forgotten nothing, and who continues. I may not foreknow, and fail much to remember. You sustain imperial desuetudes, at the curb, a widow.
What a great night. This poem is Dream Song number 14. Life, friends, is boring. We must not say so. After all, the sky flashes, the great sea yearns, we ourselves flash and yearn. And moreover, my mother told me as a boy, repeatedly, ever to confess you're bored means you have no inner resources. I conclude now I have no inner resources because I am heavy bored. Peoples bore me. Literature bores me, especially great literature. Henry bores me with his plights and gripes as bad as Achilles, who loves people and valiant art, which bores me. And the tranquil hills and gin look like a drag, and somehow a dog has taken itself and its tail considerably away into mountains or sea or sky, leaving behind me, wag.
That was perfect. That was a perfect evening. Thank you all for joining us. And let's have a glass of wine, and books are for sale. And let's toast John Berryman, Bob Giroux, Jonathan Galassi, and Jeff Soroy, Farrah Straus and Giroux for being such fabulous, fabulous publishers of Berryman's work. Thank you, all the poets, so much.